Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Brittany Folkers. The 4th of July weekend is in full swing and we've been able to dodge showers for a lot of those local celebrations. So let's bring in meteorologist Matt Zaffino. And Matt, things are looking good for this weekend here in Portland, but not everyone is enjoying the dry weather.
Yeah, you know what? It's been a pretty good run so far. And the nice thing is, especially when compared to last year, is that it's cool out there. We haven't had a lot of rain. There was some spotty drizzle around this morning around the valley and especially at the coast. And there have been some big thunderstorms over and east of the Cascades. But for the bulk of us, tomorrow will be dry once again and really quite pleasant. So some good viewing conditions coming our way tomorrow night. It is 72 right now. So again, well below average. We're normally around 80 this time of the year. Here's the Stoller Vineyard sky cam. You see the clouds hanging around 66 degrees down the valley too. So we're not exactly burning up the thermometer, but I think that's okay for a 4th of July when a lot of people are outside. Now, highlights for you. Cool temperatures will continue through tomorrow and really into at least the middle of the week. Morning clouds tomorrow, but no rain. There is a chance of showers later in the week on Wednesday, but we're going to be just fine for the 4th of July and all the celebrations headed our way. Here's the hour-by-hour forecast for tomorrow evening, beginning at 6 p.m., 76 degrees. You see there's no rain here. A lot of clear sky, actually. The clouds should break up a bit, dropping into the 60s by 10 o'clock when the fireworks are really going. Of course, sun set right now still just after 9 o'clock. So it's going to be 9:30, 10 o'clock before most of the big firework displays get on going. We are tracking some other weather around the northwest, though. So far, as you look out from our sky cam at Timberline Lodge, no big clouds developing, but there have been thunderstorms over and east of the Cascades. 53 up at Timberline right now. We'll track these storms and let you know where they're headed next and when they're going to pop up again a little bit later on. Britt, back to you.
All right, Matt, thanks so much. We have an update tonight on the war in Ukraine. Ukrainian forces confirm they've withdrawn from a key eastern city, marking a major setback in its fight against the Russian invasion. Russia is claiming control over the last Ukrainian stronghold in the province there. But Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the fight for the city is far from over. Russia's complete seizure of the area will give troops a stronger base to press their advance in Donbas. Russian President Vladimir Putin is bent on capturing the region in a campaign that could determine the course of the entire war. A Portland man is back home after volunteering in Ukraine for about 2 months. But he tells Christelle Kumwe he's not done helping the war-torn country yet.
I'm just a normal guy, who had a desire to help.
Portland native Dylan Hall says he felt a calling when Russia invaded Ukraine.
I was overcome with anger, frustration, feelings of helplessness. It was at that point that I started thinking to myself, I wonder if there's some way I can get involved.
He heard about volunteers helping refugees along the Polish-Ukrainian border.
I bought my ticket and, I didn't have much of a plan at the time, but I knew I'd figure it out.
And he did, starting in April at the border in Poland before continuing into Ukraine. Along with a couple of other volunteers, Dylan delivered medical supplies, water, and tons of food to people in cities that have suffered heavy shelling.
It was something I'll never forget. I just saw so much destruction and, I walked through a high school in Kharkiv that was just completely destroyed, the entire high school.
The cause is dear to his heart, but so is the way he funds his mission. Dylan used the money his father left him when he passed away 2 years ago.
And he always taught me when I was growing up to, help those less fortunate than me. It was a huge thing for him. So, when this war started, I had this opportunity to be a volunteer. I thought to myself, maybe I can really use this money for something good.
After about 2 months in Ukraine, Dylan returned to Portland in mid-June, but he won't be here for long.
So I wanted to work on some fundraising with family and friends, and now I'm ready for, the next chapter.
That's a one-way ticket back to Ukraine to continue to help people in the war-torn country.
I found something that I feel incredibly passionate about, which is doing this volunteer work, and it's brought me a lot of meaning in my life.
It's brought purpose and love.
Another volunteer, who's actually now my girlfriend, Valeria, who I met in Lviv.
An answered call to help others in times of need.
To be able to help so many people there that, at the most desperate time of their lives has been, an experience of a lifetime.
Dylan heads back to Ukraine on Monday, July 4th. Dylan and his girlfriend, Valeria, who lives in Ukraine, started a GoFundMe to help provide additional resources and supplies to people who need them most in the country. Christelle Kunwe, KGW News.
One person is dead and another hospitalized after their car flipped and caught fire in Hillsboro this morning. It happened at Tannisbourne Drive in Stuckey around 4:30. One person was brought to the hospital with potentially life-threatening injuries. A second person was pronounced dead at the scene. Police don't know what caused that crash yet, and it's unknown if drugs or alcohol were involved. In Portland, a 34-year-old man is facing bias crime charges for an alleged assault on the East Bank Esplanade. It happened just south of the Hawthorne Bridge around 3:45 yesterday afternoon. A man from California and his 5-year-old daughter say that they were riding their bikes when a man walked up to them, made comments about his perception that they were of Japanese descent, and then began punching them. He allegedly hit the father in the head and the child in the bike helmet. Witnesses stepped in to stop that attack. Police arrested that suspect and booked him on first and second-degree bias crime charges. A new affordable housing option just opened in Gladstone. It's for older people who are homeless or struggling financially. Tim Gordon takes us to the grand opening.
Ready?
They cut the ribbon on Tukwila Springs this week. It's a Gladstone property that's been redeveloped by Clackamas County. It is now 48 units of permanent affordable housing for those 50 and older who make 30% or less of the area's median income and need supportive services. The first priority goes to those older adults who are homeless or close to it, especially those from Gladstone.
The importance of this can't be stressed enough. Literally, it takes people off the streets or keep them from becoming part of the homeless situation here in Clackamas County.
Walking down the hallway, everything is fresh and new. This place is ready to go. Most of the living spaces are studio size. There are some one-bedroom units as well. All have private bathrooms and small kitchen areas. There is space to make friends, too, including a large community kitchen and dining area. This is the first development completed in Clackamas County that utilizes Metro Affordable Housing Bond funds. $5.6 million pays for just under a third of the project. Another $2.6 million came from the state's Permanent Supportive Housing Program. Supportive services include help for physical and mental health and job retraining services, too, for those who need it.
This is a life-changing facility for the people who will come in here. They will tell you that. It gives them a second lease. It gives them an opportunity to get well.
And while they celebrate this grand opening, there is more affordable housing being built or planned in Clackamas County. Gladstone's mayor says it's needed, and Tukwila Springs reaches the older generations who are struggling.
We have many that have lost their homes and are now living out of cars, storage facilities, and garden sheds, and this should never happen. This is a real problem, and thankfully this project was crafted to address this sometimes forgotten population.
In Gladstone, Tim Gordon, KGW News.
All right, a heads up for the 4th of July travel here in Portland. Both the Hawthorne and Morrison bridges will be closed tomorrow night for fireworks from the Riverfront Blues Festival. The bridges will shut down to motorized vehicles between 7 and 11:30 for the show. Drivers will need to use other routes, but the bridges will stay open for bicyclists and pedestrians. The reason for the closure is because, well, crowds tend to stop and watch that show, and they're trying to avoid any safety issues. To learn more, just head over to the Multnomah County website.